Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Basic Income Tea in the series that UBI Europe has been doing, starting last summer, but now carrying on. I'm very pleased to introduce to you to Rainer Ammermann and Michael Scholz, who've been working on a fantastic project called Wow Basic Income, which is an exhibition, hopefully outdoors, which can then help people kind of guide people through understanding basic income and what it might mean to their lives. Just a couple housekeeping things. We'll be on this kind of panel type format during the discussion. And then after we end at the end of the hour, you can stay online and have free discussion. So a bit like a tea. So if you could do that, that's fantastic. There's a couple things. We're closing in on 100,000 for the UBI, the ECI for UBI. We'll put the link in the chat box a bit later to share that. And yeah, so here we go. So here's Rainer and Michael they're from the network in Hamburg, and you've been working on this for a number of years, Rainer, haven't you?
Yeah, hello everyone.
Hi.
It's nice to be here, and thanks for the opportunity. Yes, it's already been about 4 years when we started thinking about the project.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we needed several steps to go ahead and find some progress. And now we can really present something and everybody can look at some results we can show to you all. And yeah.
Great. So when did it start? When did you come up with the idea, and how has, give us some idea like how it's progressed?
Yeah, it was about 2016, I think, and we thought about having a sequence of conference meetings and asked for funding at the EU, and we wanted to add something more, add a kind of for the program, for the fringe program of the conferences, and we thought about an exhibition. Mm. And then the exhibition idea became an independent idea and become bigger and bigger. And we start thinking about, this is a project of its own. Mm-hmm. And we are now a team of 5 in Hamburg, and my colleague Michael is one of our team, again, another one. Mm-hmm. And now we are in a hot hot phase of the hot stage of the project. So we meet on a weekly basis at the moment. Mm-hmm. to get the progress done. Okay, so
great. And you said you had some slides you want to take us through, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could start with some slides.
Okay. Great. Oh, lovely.
Yeah, that's the idea of maybe for the entry point of the exhibition. Mm-hmm. And you see it's colorful and it's outside. So it's an exhibition mainly for outside areas like a marketplace or like a festival or maybe a schoolyard or at the university, wherever you think it could be. And maybe you could go one slide further.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's a picture of the whole exhibition, how we think it could look like at the moment. So, and it's the background is chosen here is the main station of Cologne in Germany. And it's you see the colorful flags, and you see different stations, or it's like huts. We call it huts. The symbol around it, or the symbol, the underlying symbol of the exhibition is a village. So we have thought about having about 8 huts representing some aspect, some question around basic income. You want to add something, Michael?
Right. Yeah, Michael?
No, I just wanted to say these are headlines. The special hats have special headlines.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a very difficult, it'd be very difficult to represent basic income in 3D. So how did you kind of think about that, or how is your team thinking about that?
Yeah, well, the main challenge was not to have an exhibition who just informs about basic income, just answering questions or giving charts or showing the history of basic income or of all the arguments. That is not the main reasoning behind the exhibition. The main reasoning is to present the questions which are relevant for everybody.
Right.
Which are linked to the everyday life and the everyday values people have in mind. And so maybe what is really, maybe it's very impressive to have this colorful flags here, and you might think, what shall these flags mean? And you could come to the next slide, please. So this is where the flags are made. So the flags are not fixed in the sense that the collection of flags is always the same.
Right.
It's one station in the center of the exhibition. It's a kind of communication place.
Little point. Center.
Yeah. In the center, and people are asked how basic income might affect their or support their thoughts about what a good life for them means. And then they can write something on the flags and pull them up themselves. So every day there might be a different image of flags, a different collection, and in any town, any city, it's a different collection then.
Oh, fantastic.
Excuse me, Barb. May I just add something? I would like
Please, yeah.
I'd like to underline what Rainer has described already. I think the basic idea of this kind of exhibition was the idea of what he already mentioned, that we didn't want to overcome the people with a lot of informations, with a lot to read. And we thought, and this is still my belief at least, that we have a so-called unique selling proposition. This is something different from anything what you may be used to with regard to exhibitions about any subject. So I think this is the very interesting point on this exhibition.
Great. So did you guys sort of conceive of this on your own, or was it I know you've been working with a design agency. How much has that kind of influenced how you've been doing this?
Yeah, it was a cooperation going for maybe 3 or 4 months, and it was led by this agency who is skilled. It's called skilled with exhibitions already. It's called Facts and Fiction. It's based in Germany, in Cologne and Berlin, and also in Dubai they have a branch. And they did the whole
illustration.
Yeah, they had the management of development of developing the concept, but much of the ideas and is coming from us. So it was a collaborative process between the agency and our team, and but yeah, and some of interesting was the point where to get the narrative of the exhibition. So we had 5 propositions presented by the agency, and the one with the village was which convinced us the most. Yeah.
Brilliant. So what? Yeah. So you've got like. So could you just explain the what is it? 5 themes in the exhibition. You'll have.
Yeah, maybe not all of them. It's maybe too much, but we can go ahead with the next slide. Yeah, this just underlies that everybody is invited to put a flag up. So next one, please. So this is an example of one of the huts of a station. And each hut has it's not only a headline, but it's a question, and a question regarding one important aspect of basic income. In this case, it's a question: what would you be working as if your income was taken care of? So the theme is work and leisure. How would this change with basic income? What people think? And yeah, and next slide, please. And this is an example, yeah, another example of a hut, and around the question, what does success mean to you? So, and the underlying theme is, what does economy mean? So what does economy consist of? And what is really in the center of all the huts is to have an interactivity and yeah, a kind of interaction with the visitors. So if you go to the next slide, for example. Yeah, this is the interaction for work and leisure. So you ask how much, you are asked how you share your time with basic income. And you have a different sand with different colors representing paid work, maybe care work in the family, and maybe the third one could be kind of education also. And the space left is really the leisure you keep yourself. So, and then everyone is invited to put such a little glass there, and then you have a large picture of all the answers.
Great.
And
so would everybody, so then these would like stay with the exhibition, at least while it's in a particular place, or?
Yeah, well,
work that out yet? I don't know.
Yeah, not all the details are ready yet, but yeah, maybe at the last day in one city, maybe you keep the result somehow, and then you can move on and start with from zero in the next city. But it depends how much people attend. Maybe you have to start from zero every day because so much people are there at a festival also. No?
Right, and have you had any interest from different places in this? I mean, and besides sort of outside, you know?
We have just started with this idea. So
okay.
There are not yet so many answers on that, but there are still some. And we can very well understand or imagine that we will find quite a lot of very interesting places all over the Republic or in other countries of Europe.
Mm.
Yeah, everybody here in the audience is also invited to think about whether their city would be a good place to have the exhibition there. Or if they have in mind a special place in the city or an institution like a museum or a kind of cultural center, which could be a partner to be the host of the exhibition there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, and we started in 2016 and now it's a fourth or even fifth year of the project. So you see, it's really a long-term project. And so it's not in the next month that we can travel with this exhibition. Now we have the conceptual idea ready, but there's still the production process ahead. So, and we still need the financing for it.
Sure.
But anyhow, we are already collecting those who are interested to be hosts of the exhibition in their cities, because maybe you need several months or even a year to prepare it.
Mm.
And we could start start the communication and get the right questions. And so it's for us, we are not professionals in coordinating the whole operation of an exhibition. So we really start early to get all the partners, local partners.
Yeah, no, it's a very complicated process. I've been involved with creating exhibitions here in the UK, and certainly, you know, it's always been quite, even though it's just been for one, I've never tried to do this thing where it's a traveling exhibition, but certainly getting all the pieces together is quite a thing, and, you know, making it interesting that it's more than just a booklet or more than just a leaflet, I think is really important. That's really fantastic. Is there another slide, or is that?
Yeah, we can go to the next slide. It's
Okay.
just.
All right, and what's happening here?
Yeah, and this is the interaction for the success question. What does success to you mean? And then you have a string, and you can connect different purposes or different meanings of success with different parts of society, like a company, or like you personal, or like in the family, or like for a museum or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So this will be for both indoors and outdoors, is that right?
Yeah, well.
Or is it mainly?
More outdoors.
More outdoors, okay.
Well, it's not excluded to have it indoors, but you need a special, you need, if you want to show it all together, then you need a place of at least 400 square meters.
Mm-hmm.
But it's flexible, so you can have only one or half of the huts, only 4 huts, or so it could be adjusted to the local circumstances. Or you can even in a city say, well, maybe we get agreement with the city administration to have it in different places around the city, and have one head at the corner at the church, at the other hut before the town hall, and the third one before the university. So it's that people
All right, so you could kind of break it up and
yeah,
have it
it's also possible. Yeah, so
wow.
But the idea is to have places where many people are on the streets already, so that they are passerby and get curious and begin playing with the interactions and start discussions spontaneously. So it shouldn't be places which are a bit locked and where people have to decide to go there. It's possible, of course, but the idea behind it is to have it really open to the public and bring it to the center of the cities, or even villages. If you have villages where a festival takes place, it could be there.
Rainer has just described the flexibility we believe in. So we of course do not know right now how it will work at the end, but I think we can offer quite a lot of let me say different possibilities. As he described it, each hut spread over a place and so on. So, and of course also presented indoor, but again, this is very likely depending on the space we can get there. We need, of course, for the entire exhibition quite a lot of space. So this is mainly available rather outdoor.
Right. Okay. So you have to make sure that everything is quite robust and able to withstand weather.
Yeah, that's why we had to cooperate with an agency who is familiar with it and who has all the companies in the background who can construct this, who deliver the design, and who know how to build this as a mobile and also weatherproof exhibition. Yeah. Yeah, my dream is to have it on the ground at least 10 years, for example. So it's so that's it. So Europe is great. It's a large continent, so maybe you need more than 10 years to go to every corner. But well, in principle, it's possible to have more, several copies. So if one country has so much interest and so much interest in for basic income, they could have their own copy.
Right. Okay.
But of course, at the moment, it's also still that we have the challenge to finance it. We got the financing to have this conceptual idea developed. That is fine, but now it's a much bigger challenge ahead. So, yeah.
Right. Great. Yeah, I'm just sort of riffing off some of the questions I've seen in the chat and in the Q&A. Thank you, Rainer and Michael. Yeah, so like, are you gonna, I mean, do you sort of see this as needing people to be there, like experts? Somebody's asking about experts being there, or is it supposed to be kind of standalone? You know, it doesn't actually need anybody there to talk about it, or how do you kind of think about that?
Did you address it to me?
Either of you, I don't mind.
Okay.
Well, it's not it's not necessary to have an expert on basic income at any time there present, but well, you need to maybe people who answer questions how the interactions work, and to answer questions about why the exhibition is there, what's the main idea behind it. But it's right. Mostly, it should work for itself. Yeah. So it's
right.
So
it should stand alone then.
Yeah, it's and it's an offer to come closer to the idea of basic income in a playful manner. Yeah.
Oh, and there's a question here from Ulrika. Have you thought about disability with this exhibition? Like, I know, like, as somebody who's done some exhibitions in the past, there are certain things that you know, you want to have sort of more sensory kind of things for people to do, and also to make sure that the exhibition is in a place that that people who use wheelchairs can use. Have you thought about those sorts of issues, or because I know that's quite a big thing in the exhibition world? Rainer?
Yeah, we thought about it, and we have a person in a team who is also sometimes needs a wheelchair, and yeah, she told us what is necessary, or told the designers of the exhibition. And yeah, but what is needed in detail is not fixed yet. So that's part of the production process. And but as you see it, it's these are huts placed outside, and they are flexible. And if you have a place which is wheelchair open to wheelchairs, then you have to place the huts with enough space between them. That and it's also maybe. Well, we all hope that next year the pandemic is over, but maybe if not, and we already have them the exhibition ready, it's but and if there is some restriction on public meetings, but it's outdoors, so you have flexibility to say, well, only a few people can be there at a time. Yeah.
I think we will consider this, that everybody can easily come in or use it. And so I guess there's still one picture even in our presentation where you can see somebody sitting in a wheelchair. So it is considered, of course. Otherwise, it wouldn't work.
Right. Yeah, no, it's just that like there's certain things that, you know, sometimes you have sensory disabilities as well. So I think it's something to consider. Yeah, do you guys, how much money are you guys looking to raise? There was a question here about the budget for this. You know yet, or are you?
Yeah, well, roughly, we know roughly.
A rough estimation, yeah.
Yeah, for the first copy and maybe 2 years of operation, altogether we need €500,000.
Right. Oh, wow. Okay. But
Yeah.
what is that? Is that so that you have like, is that for like one exhibition, or is that to have like different, you have?
No, one copy, yeah.
One copy. Wow. Okay.
But it's the second and third copy, if produced at the same time, is cheaper. So, yeah.
Right. So you kind of like trying to get people to like feel what it would be like to have basic income, or to understand, because you're saying that you don't want it just to be like a history and then figures and then.
Yeah, well, all the information about basic income you can get from the internet. It's you don't need an exhibition to have access to this. So, and the exhibition is some extra. So it's also the idea to have only very few things solved in a digital way. It's an exhibition mainly with non-digital interactions. So it's that you really, it's a kind to have an interaction and to have a feeling about how am I affected as a person with this idea.
Right.
So in terms of success, as we've seen it, in terms of work and leisure, in terms of what do you think about Europe, in terms of
what about a good life?
Good life, and so on.
Yeah, that's true. No, you've really gone into the whole what is a good life question. Yeah, so how are you kind of thinking about how to kind of convey that in an exhibition, like so people are actually talking about like what they think is a good life, and so then we see that, or how does that, how would that work, Rainer?
Yeah, it's really a challenge. So we want to leave it as open as possible. We have perhaps we have about 4 questions which they could finish, and the challenge with these all the issues around basic income is also to have it and to think about perspective which are working in many countries and many different backgrounds. So on the countryside, in a city, in Eastern European countries, as well as in Ireland and so on. And so we are not, we do not stick to a certain perspective on what good life means. So it should come from the people itself. And the idea is also to have kind of, to have events within the exhibition in this central place where people can meet, and then you can have discussions. You can invite for an evening discussion. You can invite for a meal, for cooking together, and so on. So it's also a dream about the post-pandemic time, and then to have all these possibilities in the outdoors again.
Right.
Now, we do not want to set to fix the frame for the answer. Everybody is invited to give his own perceptive of the idea of a good life for him. So people should be free in answering.
Right.
And possibly to occur some questions or some discussions beneath the other people standing around, or somehow.
Right. Well, there's been John from Commonweal is saying they'd really like to show something. It's the Basic Income Earth Network will be having its Congress this year in Glasgow in August, and so there's quite some interest. I mean, most of it I think is going to be online because of the restrictions. We don't know how and when the restrictions are going to lift. So would there be anything kind of ready? It'd be a good place actually, I would think, to promote this concept, and maybe have like one of the stalls or a stall that a kind of mock-up, like a kind of model the stall, or
a model, yeah. We haven't thought about a model yet.
Okay.
Well, maybe we could present it as there as we do it here. And as I didn't expect to have an on-site conference in Glasgow. I thought it's totally online now, but
yeah, I think the Congress itself is going to be online, but it would still, it'd be great to have something in Glasgow.
Okay.
That people living there, can have a look at maybe.
Yeah, well, then it's probably too early to have the exhibition ready then to bring it to Glasgow.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But it would be great to have it there, maybe in trend.
Yeah, well, it'd be a good place, if you're trying to raise money, you've got a lot of money you need to raise, so it might be a good place to.
Well, there's much going on in the UK, especially in Scotland. There's much interest in basic income. So if activists in Scotland or in other areas of the UK have got connections to institutions who also would contribute to the financing, maybe. So you're very welcome to start conversation about this.
Right.
So we are not we are still very open. So there's no schedule yet, no timetable where the exhibition will be first and second and so on. So the one who is coming first has the best chance to get the exhibition first.
Great. I know but will you also have an online component of it, or a part that's,
well, not really. Maybe just in the sense that we have a collection of sources, information sources, where you get more information. And but the exhibition itself does not have it's not fixed yet, but it's the interactions, they won't work online in the same sense, in the same way. So,
Sure,
but maybe
yeah.
maybe to have a kind of history of the results of the different interactions. This could be online, yeah, that you can see the different results of, about the question on good life, about what success mean to you. And then you can see, is there a difference in The Hague and Copenhagen, or between Warsaw and Porto and so on. Yeah.
Right, yeah. I mean, one
a
person,
good idea to have a kind of connect a network, so a network of those regions where the exhibition has been, and then you can see the history.
Yeah, no, because BB Banks is saying in the chat stream that it would be great to have a live feed of one or more exhibitions. I guess as a way of spreading the education. You know, like there used to be this thing about 20 years ago, like you'd have a camera somewhere at an event, and then the event would then be broadcast somewhere else.
Okay, yeah.
And you could like link. I remember there was something, I can't remember what it is now, but there was like something that I can't remember what it was about, but there was like a worldwide thing where everybody had a camera. There was like a feed to different parts of the world, and everybody was kind of looking at something. I can't remember what it was now. Sorry about that, but
yeah,
but it would be great to kind of record. Like I don't know if you guys are building in something to record people's responses besides like the specific activities you have, but also, you know, in terms of actual video would be great.
Yeah, well, the challenge we have with the physical exhibition is already big enough at the moment for us. So,
yeah, totally.
So,
but these are all things that could be, you know, kind of come into the mix.
Yeah.
Ulrika's also asking, will the exhibition be translated into different languages? Will it just stay in English?
We intend to. The first translation is, of course, English. And wherever other countries or other initiatives in other countries decide to take over this exhibition, then they are, of course, free to use their own language, just to better in touch with the population over there. So, but this is then depending on the country or the country language, you know. So, but this is of course possible.
Sure. Well, brilliant. Do you guys have anything else to say? Because I'm going to start wrapping it up now. What you would like, you know, how do you get in touch? How do people get in touch with you? Can they get involved?
Yeah, yes. So there's our website, wallbasicincome.net. And well, you are all invited to think about your local city, your local region, whether there might be a place where the exhibition could be. And if you are really interested and would like to be our contact point for that city, for your region, then you can come back to us, and then we could display a photograph, as we started with Hamburg on the website, of your preferred place in the city with the exhibition. It's just preliminary. It's not a contract yet, and it's not in the sense that everything must be sure in detail. But if you really have a serious interest, then yeah, come back to us, and we integrate you into our website and into our communication.
Okay, great. Any final words, Michael, or you? I know we've still got quite a lot of, yeah. So they're asking for, can you put this in the chat, Rainer?
The website? No.
Yeah. If you could put that in the chat,
no
so that
problem.
people
Yeah,
can see it, that would be brilliant.
The only what I would like to add to the point Rainer described just now is um, if there is somebody, or no, the other way. We of course need contacts which are really deeply interested and reliable to work together, and we would request that there should be how would you say this? There should be people should be willing to really um, um, do it in at their spot in their city, in their country, so um, I would think, at least at the beginning, some of us could be able to assist over there, but of course, not all of us. And if these places are far away, then it is more difficult to go there. So people who would like to take over this exhibition for their place must be reliable to cover all the problems around this exhibition. So everybody should know about this.
Mm,
Must have this in mind, I would say.
right.
I
Yeah.
see
No.
the comment of Jury in the chat, and that's a really interesting question. Do we need this exhibition because so many people already know basic income? So, but these are just public polls, and it's an open question whether it's just to say yes if you are asked once and not thinking about all the consequences.
Yeah.
Are there really people who would defend the idea in
Yeah.
comparison to other ideas, maybe, or is it the primary criteria in elections? So no, and I think the exhibition is also worth in situations where a country is starting a basic income program. And it's just to get it just shouldn't be only a measure from the government to the people, but the idea for us is that it is an idea of the people, and the idea is not finished yet. And the exhibition is an opportunity to gather people to develop the ideas and around basic income further. And then it's part of the introduction of basic income in the country. Yeah. Or in particular, I can think about all the cities who now apply for a pilot in the UK or elsewhere, or even in the US. Even in Hamburg, we are looking for a pilot. It's a good thing to accompany the discussion we have around the pilot with this exhibition. Yeah.
Shortly said, as long as the most responsible people are not supporting this idea, in contrary, they are mostly against this idea. As long we need to have any tool to support the idea of the basic income. So we think this is a very good idea to do so.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I really think it's important. I mean, we've all been kind of really stuck online this year, and I think it's really good to have ideas about what to do in real life. I'd also remind people, yes, we have these polls that show a lot of support for basic income when people hear about it. But recently in the UK, we had a poll which said that only 8% of people had ever heard about it, which I think is really important. All right. You know, it's very easy to kind of get stuck in your own social media bubble or email bubble or whatever. And to have something like this where you can actually bring it outside and people can participate in it, I think is a really wonderful idea. And And I wish you the best of luck in developing this and getting the money together for it. I'm also wondering, are you going to have, like sometimes people have like things like what you could do as well, like rather than having to print it all out yourself, you can have the graphics available for people to be able to print in their own areas, you know, that kind of thing. I know the income movement in the US has done quite a lot with that. But I think it's, you know, like to get people to actually, you know, to actually feel this, I think it's really important.
And
There was a question, I mean, sort of
yeah.
more like digging more into like where you think the money will come from for this, or what, I mean, who are you approaching to try to get funding for
Yeah,
this?
we are preparing to approach some foundations.
Mm-hmm.
And also
the videos.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, companies are possible also.
Right.
Well, we are open for any ideas in this respect. So, and we are based in Hamburg. We have mainly a perspective for Germany about the financing possibilities, but it's at the same time a project of UBIE. So anybody in Europe is invited to look whether there could be a local partner in that country, even for the financing part, who could be approached. But then we need really a firm partner local partner in that country first. So it
Right. Okay. So you want people from different countries to get in touch as well. Yeah.
Yeah. It wouldn't make sense to apply for a foundation in France from Germany. So,
sure.
But if we have a partner group or partner institution in France, then they are really partners of equal partners in the project, and then they can approach a foundation or a public funding in France, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, really. And also, I think it would help in terms of the language. You know, you know where people want to do it, and so then you know which languages that you need.
Yeah, speaking about language, that's a good question. You see, we have the website in English. You can switch to German. And in the background, Italian and Swedish is already prepared. And any other language is welcome. So if you can offer a translation of the website and of the booklet, which is more or less the same of the same phrasing, then it's not that much. It looks it looks a lot on the website, but it's maybe 3 pages. Then we can have even the website in Polish. We can have it in Finnish and Gaelic or in Greek, or Spanish would be wonderful. So come to us with your preferred language and your offer to translate.
Great. Okay. Well, I'm not getting too much to write. So some people said that they'll be discarding the discussion with their headmaster, which sounds really good. Vogtplatz, I think. And I think that, you know, the real point of this is to try to get people to actually feel something inside, you know, that it's not just a kind of intellectual idea. Oh, this would be nice to have.
Yeah, of course. Going beyond the academic, debate, and going beyond just political prejudices, and so looking at what does it mean for my personal life, for my values. Is there room for my development? I think we shouldn't underestimate that many people are stuck in their daily life and they are not ready all the time to be debate things on an academic level, take over in a different perspective. And
Right.
the exhibition is meant to offer a kind of low level interaction, to have something to play with, to get curious into some questions. And then if you want to dig deeper into the idea of basic income, then you can go to the internet or can buy a book, or
Right.
that's anyway possible, but that's not the idea of the basic of the exhibition in the first place.
No, that's really great. Michael, any last words? Are you?
We have this one point where people were asking why we need this exhibition. So and you mentioned some figures about the portions, how many people have heard something about basic income. So I think we need very often really to ask them directly, what did you hear? What did you learn about the basic income? Very often people have just heard the basic income, yes, but they have no idea, no clue what it is really about. So that is, we have to take, we have to take cautious those figures, you know. If we, for example, learn that 64% of the European population has agreed to basic income, do they really know what they have agreed on? So
Yeah, I think that's a big big issue actually with a lot of these polls.
this is to some kind an irritating way, you know. It is a nice figure, fantastic, and even for Germany, for example, it's the same figure, 64%. But if you ask these people, then you can learn that there are very different ideas, interpretations, whatever. So this is a little bit to take to be careful on those figures.
Right. I mean, Anton Phillips says, suggest you find a way to include students to think with you about the best ways to reach the younger generation. I know you're working with younger people on this, but what's your view on that? Rainer, or?
I only could answer this very personally.
Okay.
This certainly depends on my personal age. So what I would be happy over is if we could reach much more younger people. From my point of view, younger people. So these are even people in the age of 50 and not of 15. So what I mean is we need, of course, this type of population, which is very often much too much involved in their daily affairs, in their daily job, and they have no time. They have no openness to this idea. So they have no time. So they cannot really open to this idea, and that is difficult. So we need different ways to attract them with this idea.
But it's of course also we should mention that the agency worked with a team of young people on the design and on the ideas of the exhibition. Yeah.
Oh, that's great to hear, actually. Yeah. Just for my own part, I'd like to say thank you very, very much to Rainer and Michael for this interesting discussion about trying to make 3D a 2D topic into a 3D topic, in so much as we think money is 2D. And yeah, just to say for myself, I mean, I'm always finding that, you know, like bringing up the subject of basic income or talking about basic income seems to open people's minds to other things. So as much as you can, you know, as much as you can talk about basic income, then, you know, people actually allow themselves to discuss other wider issues like the financial system, or, you know, I'm really glad to hear that you're talking about what is a good life, and people can kind of think of some of these social issues a bit more. So I'd really like to thank both Rainer and Michael. People can stay on and have free discussion with them about this, and we'll turn on people's videos and microphones. Just also wanted to say that the European Citizens Initiative for Basic Income, it's getting close to 100,000 signatures. So anything that people can do to promote this, whether that's just sharing the link or going, providing some publicity, getting in touch with people, civil society groups, who might be able to promote it, or politicians, that sort of thing. So yeah, so this is www.eci line-ubi.eu. That's the simple website for it, and we hope we have to get the get 1 million signatures by next September. Also, just to say that the next Basic Income Tea will be about an EU eco dividend, which would be a dividend which would go to everybody, but also predicated on environmental taxes. So that'll be quite interesting. It'll be led by Ulrich Schnacksnyder. I think that's how I say his name. So that'll be quite interesting. So thank you very much, everyone. And yeah, I think that's kind of it right now. I don't know. My clock on my computer is a bit faster than the normal one, so I don't quite understand where we are. If we want to just have informal discussion now.
Yeah, we could come back to some of the questions in the Q&A and.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as Fopla says, please stay in touch. Yeah, so you can get in touch with Rainer or Michael through the website, wowbasicincome.net. Anything, any contributions that you feel you're able to make, any certain, whether that's financial or whether that's in terms of ideas, or if that's and particularly in terms of like, if you have a space where you think this would really go well, please get in touch with them. Or you can get in touch either with Basic Income Europe, and we can pass the message on at contact@ubie.org. But yeah, thank you so much, and good luck, Rainer and Michael, for this.
Thank you, Barb.
Good. And yeah, I mean, I think it's a really interesting thing. It's very difficult to, I think it's very difficult to represent something like this in 3D.
Yeah.
So my hats off, hats off to you for making the attempt. And I really hope that, it's popular, amongst different localities. I think it's really important, again, that we, especially as we come out of the Corona crisis, that we, have opportunities to think about things and talk together, offline.